Hello, everyone. This is Richard Abendan, Chief of Party of the USAID Science, Technology, Research, and Innovation for Development, or STRIDE program, which is the flagship higher education project of the USAID Philippine Mission. STRIDE is in its ninth and final year of implementation towards its goal of inclusive economic growth through strengthened innovation capacity at HEIs, along with government and industry partners. I am glad to present alongside Dr. Frank Alejandrino of the Technological Institute of the Philippines, or TIP for short, the results of the partnership to improve graduate employability along with private sector partnerships at TIP. And this is primarily through developing enhanced student career center services at TIP, patterned from those at many US universities. I would like to bring in Frank to tell us a bit more about TIP, its student population, and its reasons for strengthening career services in their campuses.
Thank you, Dr. Richard. TIP is a leading higher education institution established in 1962, committed itself to developing students through technological education. TIP has two campuses with around 25,000 students enrolled in 43 programs, mostly in the engineering field. The following are some of the major challenges addressed by the establishment of the Career Center. Taming industry perception to ensure higher employability for our graduates by building strong partnership with the industry to provide opportunities for our graduates. Moreover, majority of our TIP students are from the middle to lower economic class who are still striving to finish their education through various scholarships and discounts. And lastly is preparing our graduates to become employment ready. That includes helping students enhance their self-confidence, improving their communication skills, and develop among them a winning mindset. Dr. Richard, perhaps you can tell us why developing career centers has been a core part of STRIDE activities.
For STRIDE, it was always about increasing industry-academe partnerships, something that it was cited as a needing improvement in the Philippine Innovation Ecosystem Assessment we done in 2014. We envisioned efficient career centers would be a great conduit for more HEIs to improve engagement with the private sector. If career centers can provide attractive avenues for recruitment, we can expect industries will be more willing to partner with HEIs on other initiatives, such as curriculum development and joint research activities. TIP was selected to be among the first 3 higher education institutions from all over the Philippines to be developed by the USAID STRIDE program as a model career center, with the guidance of career center directors from US HEIs. For TIP, it was University of California, Berkeley, Stanford University, and Florida State University, through the William Davidson Institute. Frank, you were there from the very start in 2014. By way of describing our methodology, please tell us about the training and other capacity development activities we've done as your career center has evolved through the years.
For 5 years, TIP received technical support from USAID STRIDE, which includes annual visits of the US Career Services experts for capacity building and mentoring. Officers of the Career Center were also sent to US study tours and benchmarking visits to university career centers. In the last 7 years, the TIP Career Center underwent 3 cycles of iteration and reorganization to adapt to the changing demands of our students, our graduates, and our industry partners. To track the progress of the Career Center, a performance assessment of the programs and services is done annually using the following parameters: satisfaction of students, our industry partners, and other internal stakeholders. Another is the attainment of operational and quality plan targets. Annually, we would set targets and keeps increasing them. And the effectiveness of all functional areas was also ensured. These functional areas includes our student development program, our career advising program, the career and exploration and job placement program, our linkages program, and finally, the alumni affairs. Very specific and measurable outcomes are set to be achieved. And finally, we have to set outcomes and target certain results. Example is the employability rate of our graduates based on certain identified variables.
And speaking of metrics, TIPs among 27 career centers that Stride has helped develop in the last 8 years. Combined, they're serving over 220,000 students annually and are responsible for over 3,000 private sector partnerships. But for Frank, what are the tangible results and impact of the career center to specifically TIP and its students?
The following are some of the notable achievements of the DIP Career Center. The center has documented 92.5% employment rate in 2016 up to 2018, coming from an around 80% employment rate in 2014. Meanwhile, JobStreet Philippines, a dominant online job portal in the country, in its employer preference survey, named PIP as one of the top 10 leading sources of fresh graduate hires. Not only is graduate employability significantly improved, but the center has built strong relationships with recruiting firms and industry partners and it was able to solicit more than 30 million pesos, or about $600,000 from the private sector towards scholarship and financial assistance to over 300 student beneficiaries on top of TIP's own scholarships. And speaking of just total reach and impact of our students' population, we have documented that over 170,000 students have directly participated in various career training and development activities since the inception of Career Center in 2014.
These are great developmental results. And of course, from the research and innovation perspective of Stride, the big outcomes you were hoping for that materialized at TIP were the collaborative industry research projects and scholarships that bloomed from industry's initial contact with the Career Center. Now, TIP has around 1,500 active industry partners, providing students a broader pool for internships and employment options from the initially about 100 active linkages that they had when we started in 2014. And TIP's performance assessments and surveys indicate the improved satisfaction relationships with industry and students. But I know it wasn't all easy. And particularly with the pandemic, there must have been many new challenges that Frank and the center faced in order to continue to deliver its services.
During the pandemic, all career services were seamlessly migrated online. The TIP Virtual Career Center has established a strong presence of continuous services to students during the pandemic, utilizing various platforms, including its dedicated website, the Canvas LMS, and social media sites like Facebook and TikTok. Currently, it has more than 14,000 followers with more than 70,000 post engagements.
As we move now to our key takeaways and learnings, through all the success and evolutions of the Career Center experience at TIP, Frank, what do you think are the key learnings for anyone watching now who is looking to improve both graduate employability and private sector engagement through career centers in a developing country like the Philippines?
The following are some of the important elements that contributed to the success of the Career Center in TIP. Leadership and strong management support to this endeavor, the creation of framework, and identifying champions to carry forward was very significant. Commitment, flexibility, and creativity of staff, and also our community spirit were definitely helpful. Of course, the availability of funding and resources for the Career Center program is very instrumental. However, there were also challenges and birth pains. There was a need to process and convince stakeholders for culture change and also buy-in, as it requires some structural and reorganizational alignments. Issues of sustainability were also raised, and moreover, there was a dearth of existing materials, local models, and even benchmarks. These are some of the many takeaways that could be discussed more extensively, and we would love to discuss further and to be further explored in the Q&A.
Thank you very much, Frank, for sharing your experiences and insights. To close, we would like to share a reference, this roadmap containing case studies on creating and transforming career centers in the Philippines, titled Educating Future-Ready Filipino Graduates. This is available for download at the Stride website, you can see here, and will be soon on the USAID Development Experience Clearinghouse, or the DEC. Frank and I wish to thank the United States Agency for International Development Philippines for funding the Stride Career Center activity, and all the technical partners who helped develop these career centers: the William Davidson Institute at the University of Michigan, Florida State University, and the many US HEI-based career center directors and experts who have come to the Philippines to share their time and valuable mentorship. Thank you for listening, and we would be happy to receive questions in the Q&A section.